Today on A&L News,
a report on the use of medical marijuana.
A recent law on the use of marijuana has been passed in California due to the recent legalization of medical marijuana.
California state marijuana laws were drastically reduced in 2016 after voters approved the Adult Use of Marijuana Act, which was known as Proposition 64 on the ballot. Under the new laws, adults 21 and older may purchase up to 1 ounce of marijuana in their private residence.
According to the study by Boston Medical Center with the Boston University of Medicine, people who consume marijuana on a daily basis are less likely to visit a doctor than people who never smoke marijuana.
Another positive outcome of using marijuana is that it helps people cope with things like digestive disorders, depression, and also good for aches and pains.
Also, according to a study by the American Journal of Epidemiology, people who use marijuana daily have a lower risk of obesity and lower insulin levels than non-users.
Now off to a student of Yuba City High School as we talk about how she feels on the use of marijuana.
So here I'm with Miranda and she'll give us her intake of smoking weed. So how do you feel about the legalization of marijuana?
I really agree with the legalization, mostly because it brings a bigger outlet for people who need to smoke it for, medical reasons or anxiety and depression and stuff.
Okay. What are some of the side effects of smoking weed?
There's not personally any negative side effects. Maybe some people might tell you that they might feel tired afterwards or hungry, but it's a good feeling, peaceful stuff.
Okay, how much marijuana does it take for you to get high?
It kind of solely depends on the person. If you haven't really smoked weed yet, about, half a gram would do you good, but, some people who have been smoking weed for a while, it just kind of really depends on the person.
Why do you feel the need to smoke weed?
Well, why not,
Duly noted. What are different types of ways to smoke weed?
There's a lot of different instruments, I guess. Pipes, bowls, pipes, bongs, joints, blunts, and there's different types of blunts swishers, backwoods, bubblers. There's a lot of ways. And then they have condensed weed, so wax, and that can be done with a blowtorch, but that's more to get but yeah.
Okay. So there you have it. Back to you, Lauren.
As we saw, there are some good things about marijuana, but on the other hand, there are some bad things too. According to the recent research, marijuana raises the resting heart rate of people who use it frequently. While this may not be a problem for normal, healthy individuals, it may be dangerous for people who have any form of heart disease.
Another bad thing about marijuana is that you may experience forms of respiratory illness, such as chronic bronchitis, wheezing, and higher than normal levels of spectrum. However, there are by far many good aspects of marijuana, such as helping with cancer.
As we heard the bad side of things, we will now go off to a probation officer located at River Valley High School as we record her intake on the use of marijuana in teens.
Okay, we are here with Maria at River Valley High School, the probation officer, as we will be asking a few questions about marijuana. So what are some of your duties as a probation officer at River Valley High School?
I have a small caseload of students who are on probation through the court or through our county. I also provide referrals for kids who are not on probation, for substance abuse counseling, and also for things like how to cope with stress so that they don't use drugs. That's the goal. It's early intervention.
Yeah. Okay. Has a freshman ever had to report to you because of marijuana?
I don't really remember grades. I do know that I have done referrals for drug use, and if they're not on probation, it's volunteer basis. They have students come to me, teachers who are concerned, and also admin who have noticed a pattern of if kids are arriving late or have a certain smell about them, then they come and talk to me. So maybe some freshmen.
Yeah. So usually they don't report to you. It's usually loved ones around them. So teachers,
parents, phone calls, grandparents. Yeah.
Okay. Roughly how many students have you had in the drug class?
So I don't do the drug classes here. That's actually done through the counseling department. I will make referrals to our substance abuse counseling, to substance abuse counseling that's run through our mental health department. And we have a mental health counselor that comes to our school that does that and pulls students, and I want to say roughly about 10 students have been referred to her this past school year.
Okay. So what is your intake on the legalization of marijuana, and how do you think that'll change our school?
Well, it's my take is, of course, I'm against it because it's, there's just, it tends to lead to more crimes in general, because when people need money to pay for the drugs, sometimes they don't have the money, so then they resort to other crimes such as property crimes like stealing, thefts, that sort of thing. However, as far as how it changes our school, from my understanding, it doesn't change the way the district runs, does their policy, and consequences are the same. So I haven't seen much of a change from this, last school year.
Okay. In your opinion, what are some of the cons of having marijuana legal here in the United States?
Well, I don't know about the United States. I can speak to this area. I haven't, people growing in their homes. I've noticed as far as when I was doing dealing with adults, there's been an increase in home robberies, home invasions, and that's pretty scary. That's stuff we didn't see before. So I just feel like it opens a door to other types of crimes. So I'm against it, and I think that's as far as pros. I mean, I don't use marijuana, so I guess some people who do use, they maybe feel like less criminal. However, I personally don't think that's something that I don't see a pro to it. So.
Well, thank you, Maria. It was a pleasure.
Oh, thanks. And then just one more thing. For anyone out there in this school, or if you know someone, we do provide free counseling services. If you want to go through your teacher or through a phone call with your parents, just come by my office or have someone contact me. It's free counseling, and it's here at school or somewhere out like probation. I don't know if you guys feel comfortable with that, but anyway, thank you.
Well, you heard it from her. Back to you, Lauren.
Although people may feel marijuana is bad for you, there is far more research showing that marijuana is good and helpful in some cases.
According to Southern CT Wellness and Healing, medical marijuana has been shown to alleviate nausea and vomiting of cancer chemotherapy. There is also evidence of reduced anxiety and improved sleep among cancer patients.
Also, there are new studies investigating the benefits and uses of medical marijuana that show significant methods to help treat various cancers and manage symptoms of cancer.
To get a little more information on marijuana, we will head over to Lauren with a teen parent to talk about marijuana.
We're here with Michael Gilbert at his residence. So for starters, how do you feel about the legalization of marijuana?
Personally, I believe that the government has spent a lot of money trying to beat it, and it was never going to happen. So that part is good in the sense that the dollars won't be wasted there and can be allocated somewhere else.
Okay. Do you think the legalization of marijuana will affect teens' lives?
It shouldn't, well, it has a positive and a negative effect. Teens shouldn't be using the marijuana. They're not of age to use it under the new laws. But now that they've legalized it in California and other states, a few other states, the government's going to reap the rewards of that, with providing the money to maybe schools and roads and different areas.
Okay. Do you think that marijuana can have a good effect on people?
A good effect, yes. Cancer being one. Some cancer patients don't have an appetite, and the use of marijuana under different conditions, whether it be smoking it or eating different cookies, brownies, whatever they make out of it, gives them the appetite to be able to eat and keep their weight up, to be able to go through the chemos and all the different things. So.
Okay. Do you know anyone that has done marijuana, and if so, how have they changed?
I do know people that do, and I know some that are positive and some that are negative. Know some that own their own businesses and may smoke occasionally, recreationally, and some that will smoke on a daily basis. Then there's the total opposite that I know that could care less about anything, but they find the money to be able to smoke.
Okay. Well, you heard it from him. Back to you, Annabelle.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, you heard it here first on A&L News. This is Annabelle Sayona
And Lauren Gilbert.
signing off.
Go slow, but we can go faster. Let me on that green tractor.
I'm putting due to the recent a new how Annabelle how it's right in front of you.
Hands, catch my hand.
Okay, here we go.
Action.
Another bad thing about
Why?
okay.
Action.
Another thing.
There's a bug.
A little more information on trying to like sniff my foot. I'm sorry.
Guys, keep going. Just keep going. Okay, go.
Oh, okay. To get a little more information on marijuana,
And Lauren Gilbert
signing off. That was lit!